Hello, my name is Lloyd Nations. I'm CEV Territory Manager for the DFW Metroplex area and most of North Texas. I'll be doing your law enforcement workshop today to protect and serve using iCEV and LPCS resources. Let's go to our next slide here. Before we get into the platform, I do want to mention that we do integrate with learning management systems such as Google Classroom, Canvas, Schoology, and others such as Moodle and Blackboard. We've got some excellent workshops on Google Classroom and one on Canvas and Schoology integration. We also work with single sign-on such as Clever and ClassLink. For more information on that, have your school or yourself reach out to customer support at cevmultimedia.com. I'm on the login page, and as you notice, there are tabs for logging in with Clever and ClassLink. That's for when you are not on your school issued device or the student's not on the school issued device, a way to get to your Clever or ClassLink portal to find the iCEV tile or icon. To sign in with Google, those of you who are doing Google Classroom, once your students are synced to Google, they can log in direct. There are a couple of instances I can think of where you would want to do that. One, if you use our assessment generator, or if you're utilizing one of our certifications that we host on the website, they would need to go directly to their account and not through Google Classroom. I'm going to go ahead and log in. I've got a manual account, so I'm going to log in the old-fashioned way with the username and password. Just hitting some basics real quick. My iCEV logo. Anytime you're in our platform and you see that and you're lost and you want to get back to your dashboard, just click the My iCEV logo, brings you back to your dashboard. The iCEV coach, live chat, they're great for help, answering questions. You want to relay an idea for a lesson. Maybe you found a typo in one of the PowerPoints. It's a great resource. For more in-depth training, use the schedule online training. Those are 30-minute blocks, but the average is 11 minutes. Also, direct you to tutorials. We're not going to open that at this time. You will find resource guides, and you will find excellent tutorials there. Or reach out to your local territory manager or iCEV rep. All of our professional development is always free, and we're more than willing to help you with any questions you would have. Today, I'm going to kind of hit the high points. So we do have a great basics workshop that if you need more in depth, I encourage you to go back and view that basics workshop. I went ahead and I've loaded the course offerings that we have on our law enforcement site. We have the principles class, law enforcement 1, law enforcement 2, court systems and practices, criminal investigations, forensic science, business law. Those are the full courses we have. We also on this site offer professional communications, and you have access to that, and you can load it to your dashboard as well. And then I'm going to show you how to load a course here in a moment. We do have one course that is not complete, but you may want to utilize the material that we have. And so I'm going to show you right now how to add a course. I'm going to go to the Add New Course Certification tab, click it. And if you're just getting started, you'll have something similar, but it says start setting up your courses. You agree to do that, and it's going to take you here to the playlist. Our instructions are always in this blue rectangle. Any area you go to on iCEV that where you need instructions, there will be an instructions area in blue. So I see all 7 sites, so I've got to use this drop down and pick law enforcement. There are the courses plus the professional communications. I'm going to go to subject area playlist. And here we're going to see cybersecurity. We started working on this a couple of years ago, and COVID interrupted the production of this. Hopefully this year we'll get it back going and we'll have that full course developed. But for those of you teaching cybersecurity, there is quite a bit of information, though it's not a full year's course there. You've got to highlight it green. It's going to ask you to name it. I'm going to cheat a little bit because I'm going to copy and paste. I'm going to hit add course. I can add all my courses at one time. Finished is our save, so I hit finished. You can see cybersecurity is right here at the bottom. I'm going to move it to the top. I would recommend, if you are using a manual login like I am, that you actually name by period or section your courses, because if you're having to manually roster students, our system creates a code, and that code is based on the name. And if you have 2 periods of the same thing, you want the kids in the right grade book. So like if I had 2 law enforcement, say second and third period, I'd want a second and third period. If you forget to name something, just view the course, hit edit title. I'm going to call this one second period. Hit save. I'm going to use my breadcrumbs and go back out to my courses page. And I'm going to move that up to second because I'm a little bit OCD. Second period has to be second in order. Now, one of the things you can do is make copies. But before we make copies, I recommend that you look at our customization feature. And this is one of the things that I will go over today is the customization. So I'm going to go over here and view course. Before I customize, and the tab is right here, I'm going to come over and look at the TEKS alignment. In Texas, we have Texas Essential Knowledge and Skills. That's our state standards. So if you're in a different state, yours will say maybe state standards or state alignment. But it's a very similar document regardless of what state. When I click this, it opens this PDF, and all our printables are in a PDF form. Taking just a second to load, and you'll see in Texas, we meet 100% of the state standards. We have 204 days of teaching material based on a 50-minute class period. You'll see a table of contents, and then you'll see the scope and sequence or pacing guide, lesson 1. There's 15 days worth of material. Now, you may not use all 15 days on them skills, or you may want to break it up and not do it all at one time. That's, again, based on a 50-minute class period. Here's the TEKS. Down here for our Texas teachers, we break each lesson out and spell those TEKS out by lesson title. I'm not going to scroll through all 66 pages. That'll be something you can investigate on your own. But I always like to point this out because this scope and sequence is the order that our curriculum developers felt best to order this class. You may have a different idea, and that is great. So that's why we give you the customization feature. So to get out of this PDF, I have to come and close this tab I opened. Then I'm going to come straight across from the standards alignment document, and I'm going to hit customize this course. Here where it says selected lessons are the lessons in the order that we place them. You see you have the ability to either just click and move it up one, move it down one, or you can grab and drag, and so you can reorder. The preview gives you the option of seeing the PowerPoint or video along with a description of what's covered in that particular lesson or unit. And if you're going to use another resource, you may want to remove it out of that playlist. If you do, it just moves it over here in the available lessons. You can also come into the available lessons and bring over any lesson from one of the other law enforcement courses or that ProCom course. You can search by title or keyword. You can browse alphabetically, and from my law enforcement teachers, you will not be seeing these judging classes that are for the ag teachers. But since I have all 7 sites, I see all of it. My preferred way is to come over here where it says browse by subject, click subject. It will open up this box. Again, you will only see law enforcement, so I've got to scroll down to law enforcement. And you see it's got the lessons broken into what I call categories or topics. And maybe I want to look and see if there's some lessons in forensic science that that I want to utilize in my class, Law 1 class. So you can see these first 3 are grayed out. I can't preview them. I can't add them. That tells me they are already over in that course. So criminal justice terminology, there it is right there. But this say I wanted to also cover forensic science safety and regulations. I could preview it, make a decision if I like it or not, want to add it or no, I want to save that for my forensic science class. I decided I was going to add it. I added it. It put it right at the very bottom. I reorder it, and then I hit finished to get my customized version. So now I have my customized law enforcement 1 second period. I've done my customization. Now, if your ClassLink or Clever, all your periods or sections are going to be rostered to your dashboard along with your students are going to be rostered. You don't have to worry about doing that. When you customize, there is going to be a link for you to share that customization to those other sections. So you do not have to do it for every period you teach Law Enforcement 1. If you're manual like I am, what I suggest is load it one time, customize it, and then right here at the drop down, you're going to see copy course, or you could copy lesson, lesson visibility. That's a different component there, but copy course. And I'm going to come in here. I'm going to backspace over. I'm going to take off copy. I'm going to say this is 3rd period, and then I'm finished for save. And it dropped it right here at the bottom. I'm going to reorder it. Got my 2nd, 3rd period in order like they need to be. An exact duplicate. So let's go back and view. Again, we're on kind of a tight time frame, so I'm not going to go over every component. I invite you to check out our iCEV Basics workshop that we've got. Or if you're in my territory, just reach out to me and I'll be glad to come by your school or get on a virtual conference call with you and help you any way that I can. Just want to look at one lesson. Again, I'm not going to go over all the components down this side. You'll get that in that basics, but I want to go over a lesson. So I'm just going to view this lesson right here on public safety systems and agencies. This one happens to be a PowerPoint. When you open a lesson, everything you need is found on one page. Here's your link to the lesson plan. Our system does grade the interactive and put grades in our grade book. That grade book is right here. There's the link to it. We have career interviews that are piggybacked with a lesson. They are found right here in this select playlist drop down. Instructional materials are the printables. And you can see there's a lot of PowerPoints and projects we suggest with this particular lesson. Some of the materials like the teacher notes, the downloadable PowerPoint, the grading rubric, at this point, you can't share those or allow the students to see them because those are teacher materials. But you can download those to your computer. Where I think that might come in handy is for those students with an IEP that says they get a copy of the teacher notes, well, you would download that. I would share it to the resource teacher and let them distribute it to the student. But that's just my suggestion as a longtime classroom teacher. We also have the interactive components, the note taking. There's a print version. The vocab is one thing that's different. This is a click and drag matching. We're in the print version. You're looking at just a handout that has the terms and definitions. The assessments are the same as up here in the printables. Little 5-question daily review. You can see first section of notes. This first assessment would review that material. Second assessment, second section of note taking. The final is going to pull questions from these and might be anywhere from 5 to 25 questions, is the longest one I've seen. Again, I'm not going to go over all the controls in here. I just want to kind of familiarize you with what's available. So you've got a lesson plan. I do want to touch base on that. So I'm going back up here. It's going to tell if it's a PowerPoint or video, the duration, number of slides, or how many minutes, goals, objectives, and then you get to the meat of it. And you see this one is 13 days. Here's what I consider the key thing to glean from the lesson plan. Day 1, 50-minute class period, says cover slides 1 through 17. And then in italics is the ancillary materials that we have in the printables and the interactive that would reinforce the information covered on slides 1 through 17. So that's the key thing. If you don't want to use all the PowerPoint, let's just say I'm going to pick up at slide 120 and go through slide 163 and just do 4 days of this lesson. Just make sure you're not grabbing something from day 2 and trying to have the kids work on that when the information is not found here in slides 120 through 128. We do also have lesson links, free internet resources we've identified, your instructions for your lab activities that you saw in projects. It just kind of keeps you from having to toggle back and forth because those instructions are found in our instructional materials. Again, this is a PDF, so I have to close this tab. I will show you a little bit about the PowerPoint. I'm going to go ahead and full screen right here. It opens it in a new tab. I'm going to click yes. It always kind of, when you open it, do you want to start where you left off or do you want to start over? On this one, I had gotten on slide 133. In fact, you've got marking tools. You can see the outline. You can full screen it a second time right here. I'm going to close it. I'm going to go back and hit no. I'm going to full screen it one more time because I do want to show you one feature on the PowerPoint. You got your objectives, and then you get into a menu page that helps kind of break it up. So when I want to go to emergency response, I can click that, jumps me to that section. The videos will be very similar. The videos over here on the right-hand side, you'll see the different clips, and the clips are suggested for certain days and go with certain parts of the instructional and interactive materials. So that's a quick overview. Again, more information in the tutorials, more information on our basics, and that Schoology Canvas workshop and the Google Classroom workshop. Invite you to attend those. I hope I haven't been too brief on this, but that you've been able to see what we have to offer. Just one more time, I'm going to go over that before I close. Cybersecurity, not a full course yet, but hopefully we'll finish it up this year. Law 1 and 2, principles, court systems and practices, criminal investigations, forensic science, business law, plus the professional communications. I hope you enjoy the rest of our conference. I hope you've had a great restful summer. And I know you're ready to get back and see some students in person this upcoming year. Thank y'all for joining in, and I look forward to hearing from you in the live Q&A.